Another year of Halloween has come and gone. Doesn't really seem fair though. I usually hate this point of every year because my favorite holiday is now over and I have to wait another year for it to happen again. No, you know what? It's not over yet. Yeah, I'm gonna make one more review to cure my Halloween withdrawal. But what can I review that kinda relates to Halloween, but not really? An MMORPG themed anime with a giant skeleton man as the lead. That'll do. Overlord, a series growing ever so in popularity, started off as a light novel series written by Kugane Maruyama back in 2010, and has published 12 volumes ever since 2012. The idea of this intriguing story prompted a manga adaptation by Satoshi Oshio featuring the art of Hugen Miyama, which was then serialized by Kadokawa Shoten's manga magazine Comp Ace from November 26, 2014. With its growing popularity, a 13-episode series was planned through the studio Madhouse and was released during the summer anime season of 2015, a year that was filled to the brim with amazing shows like Yurikuma Arashi, Gate, Maria the Virgin Witch, Death Parade, and of course One Punch Man. Yet still with all these amazing titles holding their place in popular mainstream media, Overlord still held its own as a well-known and highly praised franchise. What is it about this fantasy game story that makes it so unique? Well, let's just take a look at the story and see what it has to offer. It's the year 2126 in an immersive DMMORPG known as... apparently they make a lot of new names in the future, but how do you even pronounce this?
Yggdrasil.
Yeah, what he said. Well, this game that allows you to completely immerse yourself into its world is shutting down after 12 years of service. A highly skilled guildmaster named Momonga of the guild Ainzol Gon is staying in the game as long as he can before the game shuts down at midnight, and is saddened to see that he is the only one from his guild to be there during the game's final hours. Well, the clock strikes midnight and the game is over. But somehow, Momonga is still in the game. He thinks that the system shutdown is taking its sweet time, only to realize that his loyal NPC staff members are more interactive than usual. They can express more emotions, and he can actually touch them. He then realizes that he can't pull out of the game's menu and can't find anywhere to log out, so there can only be one conclusion. Momonga is now living in the world of...
Yggdrasil.
Yggdrasil, yeah. I'll get it one day. So as you can guess, this scenario sounds a bit familiar. A pro gamer trapped inside of his gaming world with no sign of logging out and won't be returning to his reality anytime soon. But better!
Robin?
Remind me again why I agreed to this. So while Overlord shares similar themes with other shows like Dot Hack, Log Horizon, and Sword Art Online, it's all in how they approach this theme that makes it unique. This isn't just a game that Momonga is trapped in, but an actual game that transformed into its own world, and Momonga seems to be the only one from his world to be a part of it. With this in mind, what does our protagonist do? He starts to investigate and prepare. First off, he investigates his staff and see if they can still function like they did in the game, or with some modifications. He then checks his powers to see if anything adjusted from the transition, while learning he can still communicate from anywhere using the same technique from the game. Once he has a full grasp of the situation and how to be in control, he then decides to investigate the new world in case there could be any threats against him, or even if there may be another player like him stuck in this world as well. With a lead like Momonga and how he's calculating his situation, I'm thoroughly impressed and highly interested. I couldn't stop watching because I wanted to see what else he could do in this new world. Everything still operates like a game, but it's all real now. There are still guilds to join, missions and quests that you can pick up depending on your rank, and even a rating system that still activates like it's a game, but inactive like it's real. This to me is very interesting, especially with a lead like Momonga. He loves the game and hated to see all of his achievements and hard work become lost in time when it was supposed to shut down, but now he is using what he has learned from the game to make his way through the world. At the same time, he is OP as hell. Because the game has become its own world, his achievements, unlockables, gold earnings, and powers have stayed as well. Instead of watching a show where the protagonist has to grow stronger, we have a leading character who starts off as a very powerful lord, but has to play it low or else he may not be able to get any information. It may even cause a scare amongst human NPCs. Plus, it really doesn't help when you're an undead Lich Elder, aka a giant skeleton man. Even with all of his advantages and the fact that he could possibly be the most powerful being in the world, he carefully plans his moves because he really wants to know everything about his new world, and again to see if anyone else is out there. There's also the case of how he approaches his situations besides playing it low. His main quest is to gather information, spread my forces across the land to recruit more high-leveled NPCs, and to bring back any more valuable information. At the same time, he thinks about what each situation can do for his advantage and reputation. Like when he's carrying out a group quest to build his rank in the new guild he's joined, he's also calculating ways to speed up the ranking process, especially when something even more dangerous arises. He holds no attachments to others as he's only using what he can to get what he wants. So when the malicious Clementine kills some people he just met and is threatening the village with an undead army just for the lulz, all Momonga can think of is how great his reputation will be when he defeats her and rescues a highly valuable person she just kidnapped. He even forces a sweet old lady to give up everything she has and makes her agree to work for him so long as he can rescue her grandson. Everything he does has to be towards his advantage and control, and to me, that just makes an interesting character. A gamer emerging into a fully immersive and real version of his favorite game, and what he has to do to figure out why. There's not much to say about his staff members, though, as they follow their programmings to the fullest. They all obey Momonga and will carry out his orders while praising him every hour on the hour. Albedo was just a riot since she was reprogrammed to be in love with Momonga, but it's not like he knew this was gonna happen. Keep in mind that the game was coming to an end and the player who created her was not there during the final hour, so he was just having some fun to his friend's expense. And now he has a powerful leader of the Guardians and possibly the most powerful NPC in the entire game desperately in love with him. On the outside, this could seem a bit demeaning and belittling her character, but keep in mind of the context. This only happened through a random joke, and now she's behaving in such a lovey-dovey way to the dismay of Momonga. Like, holy crap, I did not see this coming, and I kinda regret my decision. Keyword kinda, because this is kind of adorable. She is a program NPC turned real, and this is the result of it all. Yes, this comes off as a typical trope that contributes to the wonderful world of overpowered male gamer fantasies, but given the context, I really don't mind this. Plus, you could tell that using Albedo and even Shalltear sexually is far from Momonga's mind, as he still sees them as NPCs his friends created, characters that he shouldn't touch, but at the same time, he's on a quest to gather information and learn about his new world. So it's more like he wants to treat both women well and give them the respect they deserve as some of the most powerful NPCs in their new world. It also ties in with how this series ends, as he shows he's willing to do what he can to keep his new family together. So I will say, I will defend Overlord and the characters made for the show because context is key. I wish to address two other things that will spoil the ending, so just click on this time frame to avoid spoilers. Like I said before, raids can happen. After Momonga defeats Clementine, he discovers that Shalltear has disappeared, only to find out that someone has somehow reprogrammed her to become a raid boss. She's just standing there, not starting anything, but the fight will begin as soon as someone activates her, like with any other raid boss from any MMORPG. Another thing to note is how she became a raid boss. One minute she's carrying out an order from Momonga, only to have a bright light confuse her and she faints, thus giving her kidnapper enough time to reprogram her. But how? This world leads to more questions and concern with who did this and why. Could it be something like a Horde versus Alliance situation where an opposing side is trying to annihilate Momonga's undead legion? Yes, I used to play World of Warcraft. Or could there possibly be another player stuck in the game but is still on this team versus mentality and will play against Momonga despite their current situation? All these questions will have to be answered elsewhere, for that is where the series leaves us. If you want to know the answers, there's always the light novels, manga, and oh thank god! Yes, I am interested and will pick up the manga from here, but Overlord is getting a second season, and this makes me a really happy fangirl. Overall, I highly recommend this series if you want a truly immersive fantasy gaming show that isn't Sword Art Online.
Robin!
Damn it. What I mean is, even though the idea of living in a gaming world isn't original, the way the series carries the idea with its story and characters is amazingly creative. Madhouse was behind this amazing animation, and I believe they really outdid themselves this time. The style of the characters really stands out, the colors change significantly and appropriately due to the change in tone and atmosphere, and the way they animate each attack and spell is downright a spectacle. If you're going to make an amazing fantasy world full of magic and wonder, you have to stand out and do it right, and I think Madhouse did it. The dubbing was done by Funimation, and I have to say it's done really well. Each character sounds natural with their voices, but the one that really stands out for me is Momonga, voiced by Chris Guerrero.
Is it okay for me to give him orders? Screw it!
Sebas, step out of the Great Tomb and confirm the surroundings of Nazarick.
His human voice sounds neutral and calm, but his gaming voice is unbelievable. It's a voice that perfectly matches the power and confidence that radiates from this character, and I love it. This is a fairly new series that can still be purchased at most DVD stores, so pick it up from Funimation in America and Mad Men in Australia if you're interested. That or watch the series online through Hulu, Crunchyroll, or Anime Lab. This is a show I can't recommend enough, so be sure to check it out before Season 2 starts in 2018.
You hear the screeching of an owl, you hear the wind begin to howl. You know there's zombies on the prowl, and it's terror time again.
It's the Mr. Skullhead Show, starring him, Mr. Skullhead.
God, Morty, what a boring start to an adventure. Why don't we just go to Kentucky?
Rick, this is a fantasy-type world with creatures and all sorts of fantasy things. We're going on a quest, okay?
Can't wait.
Oh, somewhere deep inside of these bones.
Lightning bolt! Lightning bolt! Lightning bolt! Lightning bolt!
Miss Monroe, eat a Snickers.
Why?
You get a little cranky when you're hungry.
Better?
Much better.
I have put a spell on you, and now you're gone.
But don't you ever miss your old job? Miss commanding regimented forces of destructive power? As we encircle the globe with our terrible iron fist of might, crushing down all the pathetic fools who dared stand before us, gorging our bellies on their cries for mercy? Not so. Never miss it.
My sons know what you did in the dark. So light 'em up, light 'em up, light 'em up, I'm on fire. Open his head!
They're creepy and they're kooky, mysterious and spooky. They're all together ooky, the Addams Family.
It's a trap!
I'm gonna cast a spell on you. You're gonna do what I want you to.
I don't wanna hear it. No more fussing and a fighting, baby. Hold me tight.
Thanks everybody for watching our review. If you wish to keep up to date with Anime America events, be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and even Tumblr. If you want to support this channel, be sure to click on the notification bell to keep up with our video uploads, as well as liking this video and sharing it on any social media platform you choose. If you wish to support us financially, we have a Patreon page with numerous rewards to fit your budget, as well as sell posters on Store Envy and t-shirts on Teespring. Don't forget to subscribe to Anime America for more awesome reviews and top 10 lists. We also have a sister channel called Pop Spectrum, where we review anything in pop culture. Thanks again for watching, and stay tuned to Anime America.